Welcome to True to Blueprint, the sick leave edition. Both Mary and I are coming down with something. But, I'd rather be sick than kind of silly, right? Today's episode is called The Confounded Bridge Project. Those of you who might have heard about the Confounded Bridge don't know maybe that it refers to musical bridge or something you would give to get to another place. So exactly what you're talking about, getting William Nylander on a bridge project. And to me, I suggest that sets you up for a disaster.
As opposed to inviting him onto a bridge and then pushing him off of it.
Well, I have, to me, I'd only push him off a bridge if he insisted that he had to somehow get this money regardless of what it did to other people. And that's kind of what's bothering me.
It certainly feels like that's what he's doing.
Well, it is. Basically, that's what he wishes to do. He's basically spelling right out that if you do not pay him, you're going to pay someone else. Who are these someone else's? His friends, his teammates, and I'm sorry, guys who are more unique. And we're going to talk about Austin today. That's like the whole topic today. But I just want to clear this up. I would rather have a team full of Mitch Marners than have a Nylander. And to me, Cappy has been so good. And he was always good. He just had to get that experience and confidence. And on that line, he's got it. To me, he's so much more the kind of team player. And maybe this goes back to whose father is who. But I just feel like we need to stop acting like it's okay to be selfish. It's not if you're selfish on the ice. Is that good? No, I'm good. So if you're selfish off the ice, that's not good either. We're trying to do something here, and we're not asking him to work for pennies. We're saying, can you take $1,300,000 less a year for the first part of your career while we build up your resume with incredible winning and the kind of people who are going to give you points for days? And he's saying, no, I want the money. Now, if somehow you in your own head could find a way to make that okay, but to me, if you're doing a business and the people who want the most money don't care if you can even produce the product or, pay your stockholders or anything, they just want their money, this would fall apart. And so when people say, well, hockey's a business too, I go, well, then you don't know very much about business because that wouldn't work. We're building something here. And sometimes you just say, yeah, I can't afford the marble floor, okay? They said I could get it for a better price, but if I get the marble floor, we're not going to have a roof, okay? Is that an equitable solution? No. And I know I give you guys a lot of metaphors, but geez, I'm bringing you Shakespeare. I can't bring you Shakespeare. Now, let's talk about doubt. We talked about it on many levels. It's about your Iago, okay? In the play, Othello.
Welcome, Shar.
Yes, and here comes Shar. She's like Shakespeare.
Is Shar in the play?
Yes, she's out, damn Shar Spot. No, Shar Spot's where Shar has to sit, and anybody who tries to sit there will be pushed.
Yes, including the beverages.
Yeah, okay, but no, the idea is that most people think Iago is the hardest character in Shakespeare to play because he seems unmotivated. He seems to be irrational without really being crazy. He seems to have doubts about things that he shouldn't even be thinking about. He's actually not a character. He's the inner saboteur of Othello. Now, when you look at it that way, it suddenly becomes very sensible because think of the stupid doubts you tell yourself. You wouldn't accept that from anyone else, but from yourself, you're like, yeah, the last time I did that, it tasted like mouthwash and orange juice, and I just, you just tell yourself things to keep yourself from places. You make up stuff. You buy trouble. You want an excuse in advance? Get one. But our doubts are traitors. and make us lose the good we oft might win by fearing to attempt. But something here. Charlotte is not afraid. Why is Charlotte not afraid? Because she's got a teeny weeny itsy bitsy brain.
Mm-hmm.
And so she hasn't got room for playing out scenarios where she doesn't end up so well. You know, that's the idea. Cats have 9 lives. They're constantly doing stuff that could get them killed, and they constantly survive. She's pretty safe. But she doesn't have any inhibition. Can you imagine yourself getting on camera and rolling like this? Okay, I'm just saying. If I came over to your house and we're hanging around, you want to roll on the floor, I'll probably let it go. But that's not something you can do. And Charlotte doesn't care. All Charlotte cares about is that she's part of something. And she will enjoy that. She feels loved and belonging. So really the doubts need to stop from everyone, because it's not doing you any good. Let's look at some famous Iagos that exist. Okay, one is, who made Connor McDavid get so many nervous conditions? Well, I think it's all the talk. I think people come at me and say, you can't say he's not the greatest player. He's going to be the greatest ever. All right, let's talk about the records then. Let's talk about the fact that in the first few games, Austin Matthews scored 11 goals and got a bunch of assists, and he was just useful, okay? Broke records, everything's cool, right? Connor McDavid broke a record too. He was part of every single goal that his team got, first 9. And people are acting like that's an accomplishment. Oh no, that is not an accomplishment. That is scary. Okay? You can't build around someone who only has a small percentage of the game that they've mastered. Yes, a guy can score forever, but clearly you're taking opportunities from other people when you're playing him 25 minutes a game. Clearly, his team has to almost play like they're shorthanded for most of the game, because he needs to be where he is and wait for the points, wait for the rush, wait for what Connor does special. And he does it super special. But I'm just going to go to what Mike said when he was asked about Crosby. And no, he wasn't asked about Crosby. The fact is, we were about to play Crosby, and he is, right now, proven to be the best hockey player. There isn't anybody else. There isn't any other discussion. However, I will tell you, Austin Matthews will exceed that, and he'll do it with a couple of things Crosby doesn't have, just like that's how it's done. All right? But somebody asked Mike Babcock, you know, who's the greatest? Who's the greatest? And he said, Crosby. Because look what he's done. 2 gold medals. 3 Stanley Cups. Okay? And then he added, team success, in the end, that's how you're measured. When you've been the best player on the best team, to me that's totally different than being the best player on a team that's not as good. As you've got people around you to raise your game and set a standard, to me it isn't even close, okay? I think he's trying to have it both ways, but the fact is he's saying it, and he keeps saying it. If you don't make your team better, if your greatness isn't invested in team, then you're not really doing anything. Those who play hockey have to know that there's, 15, no, let me see, how many lines? 4, 12. There's 11 forwards on the Oilers who are not able to do the things that would get them the points. You play with Connor or you don't. And if you don't play with Connor, everything you do is meant to hold everything in place until Connor can get out there. You start believing in saviors, you're going to sink. There's not ever one answer to team questions. Now, that doesn't make a conclusion. I don't know, but honestly, I think you're going to see Austin Matthews be one of the very best players ever, because he seems to understand that he needs to be part of the team's victory. And anybody saw this week that tape he had out on, okay, Jake, if you're so good at stopping me, let's see how I can do with you and Nikita Zaitsev. was able to play defense, they couldn't get past him. Austin Matthews understands hockey. All right, this is a drill that Sid sometimes does, but he gets eaten alive for it. So what do you think of this, Mayor? I was telling my brother about hockey being a teenage girl. Can you think of things about teenage girls that, like, you know, I mean, they like the latest fad. Latest fad's important. They have pictures all over their room of people that are stars because stars tell them how to act, right? So they act the way the stars tell them to. Let's see. They're fickle, right? As any women can be.
They're
young
usually
women are
catty.
particularly very catty, okay? And the NHL just loves to take attitudes toward things. They're unable to come to a decision, waiting for someone else to make a decision. That's like one of my favorites.
Oh, so they're victims.
Yeah, they're victims. The league wants to look like a nice guy. But by looking like a nice guy, it looks like a wimpy girl, okay? And the worst of it is they take all of these influences and then they self-mutilate. This week, and it doesn't matter whether it was really a goal, okay? It matters that it was called off on the basis of the referee had the intention to blow the whistle. The intention to blow the whistle.
Okay.
The intention. Never mind. But no. Well, why can't everybody on the ice say, well, my intention was to not put that extra man on the ice. My intention was to not hit him in the head. My intention was to make all of you say, well, she's so right. I just think I'm just going to study her and I'm going to just send her my money. And yeah, let's send money.
How's that working for you?
It's not working. I think people think that, you know, a lifetime of somewhat, you know, moderate success would leave me in a position where I'm not trying to get I have to, you guys. I mean, I really do. I mean, sort of going off on my own a little here and, you know, but not asking you to send me money for real. Please don't anybody think I'm asking. What I'm asking you to do is subscribe and do all that good stuff, and everything good will happen. I also started a Facebook group this week. Let me tell you what's wrong with Facebook. What's wrong with Facebook is, in the old days, you'd read the paper, something to piss you off, you go, yeah. Now on Facebook, you read something in the paper, pisses you off, you tell everyone. And then you spend the whole day hearing other people talk about it. So that if you were pissed off and likely to put it out of your mind because it pisses you off, you can't. And they're getting stupider and stupider because there's an idea that words can hurt people. If words can hurt people, then why are we worried about hits? I mean, seriously, why don't we just go out there and go, hey, you suck, and I hate you, and on top of it, you're ugly. Should kill him. Should knock him right down, right?
At least concuss them.
Concuss them. Go to the protocol, the insult protocol. Can you see that? Put him in a quiet room. Make sure he's not having a bad reaction to being insulted. Let men be
A
men.
little ice on their head.
Part of the problem in the Pittsburgh game was we did a lot of right things. I got to say, we played our pants off. But we're going to run into this, okay, all year. Big game performances by our opponents. They're going to say, wow, the Maple Leafs think they're all that. Well, we're going to be great tonight. And that's what happened. And I was talking on Twitter about it because I'm a lot more comfortable on Twitter. And Josh Tessler, who is actually a member of the Editor and Lee family, and we're all going to be good friends now. I'm sure it's going to work out perfectly. I'm sure we couldn't have a problem. Anyway, so far he's fine. And, you know, I have to tell people, to me, if you're playing for the Hall of Fame, if you're playing for the bottom line, you're a lousy player. I don't care what your numbers are. And I think a lot of people find that bizarre. And I'm very, very, very sure of myself. But he referred me to Pucks and Pitchforks, a New Jersey Devils blog that Tyler Kelly of SB Nation does. And these analytics guys, man, they can show you things. You don't have to terribly understand. Look at the abstract of it. I'd be using more diagrams But I still haven't figured out how to do that. And you should thank me because I saved you the trouble of going through a shot map in gross and laborious detail.
I saved.
Yes, you did, by not printing it because I would have been all over that thing all night. And the fact is that from the time going back before Tom Barrasso, the Penguins get these goaltenders, and when they face tough shooters, they seem to really arrive in where they're supposed to be. And gosh, Murray was so good. And then I thought that they played very well. They pushed us around a little in the first period. And we're going to have to, like Mike says, you got to start on time. This is another maturity thing where you go, I play hockey for a living. Oh, this is serious. So, and we played very well. This week, I think we gave up, well, with a goaltender standing there, we gave up 4 goals. And our defense played brilliantly. And you would be able to see this. If you look at the shot map, you see that we... I can't help it. We kept them out of the high percentage areas. They did not get the kind of shots that Cindy and them guys usually get. Cindy and Gina. Oh, no. Did I say it on my YouTube show? That's just needling them. Because honestly, Sid is, I call him Sid because then I stay out of trouble, is amazing. Is he always playing in a way that all of us would be proud of? No. Sometimes he begs the official for a call and all that crap I don't like. But that's what they're all doing. Honestly, and I do not know what's going on with this. There's been so much backing down from fights this week, this last couple of weeks. It's been, I've said it before, I'm not going to advocate fighting because that's advocating disagreement. But I will advocate that better than taking out sneaky bullshit revenge on people, to drop the gloves and just smack each other around for a while. And I don't understand what's so hard about that for people. So, what's up with you? You learning about what? What was your thing this week?
Learning about forwards and the triangles that happen by the goal.
Oh, right. Okay, the forechecking zones?
Right.
Or, okay. Because you want to keep everything moving. So, what questions did you have?
I didn't have any questions. I was going to show you that really awesome diagram.
More diagrams!
It was something that I could try and figure out how to print for a show.
Yeah, we're going to have to figure out how to do some diagrams. Either that or I'm going to get a big board here. But then I'll have to stand up. No, my butt is not huge.
No, we can print up diagrams and put them on a board and you can reach behind you and write on them.
I think that's important because I think sometimes I found out what's going on with the groups and them throwing me out. We know your credentials are fake. Well, that's interesting. Now, let's just muse for a second that everything I've told you about myself is not true. I sure understand hockey well. I sure, I mean...
How did that happen?
Obviously, I'm faking it, That's what I'm told. You've been thrown out, and then they use one group being thrown out of as a reason to throw me out of another one. Well, she gets thrown out of groups for being...
And that's why you don't like Facebook, because Facebook is even worse than a teenage girl.
Oh, my God. No, Facebook... No, don't make me make these metaphors, because honestly, right now, I am so mad. And it's not like me. I'm not going to let it ruin my day. If every woman in the world wants to stand up and say, oh, I'm a victim, and this is how I got victimized, and you can victimize me anytime that way until you change the laws and can't victimize me anymore, which, like, laws ever stop that? And then the whole idea, Kristen Bell, I used to like her. She says, what are we sending with Cinderella? A boy kissing a sleeping woman.
She's not the only one that's doing that.
That's crazy.
Not Cinderella, it's Snow White.
Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, whoever the hell.
She's not the only celebrity.
2/3 of our culture. Look, women might want you to think this is the nice, polite, equality way to go about it. No, they're seizing control. Don't fall for it. Guys, there's no reason to act like a monster. There's no reason to push yourself on people. There's no reason to act like a jerk. But in terms of acting in a way that obeys what's gone on. We are animals. We are animals. We have a biological mandate to do things. We get no more human beings if we don't continue to mate. So, how do we work this out? I don't think we need to. I think we've been doing that part just fine. We populated the earth. But now women, in an effort to not ever be uncomfortable and never lose a battle, now think about that, guys. Think about it. You never want to lose, so you change the rules. And when you do that, you guarantee that there's no freedom, no fairness, and fairness is a big thing.
Many people don't even understand
the
concept of the fact that human beings are animals.
No, they'll say we're not animals.
I saw a guy on Facebook saying that he didn't want a cat or a dog in his house because they're an animal. And he doesn't want any animals in his house.
You see, you can't let that happen to you. You can't. You can't let this idea that somehow, you know, in all of our command and all that crap, it's wrong. It's wrong. If a little girl can be discouraged by the words of a national anthem, then really she does need not to. Women like me who stayed in sports, well, you believe it or not, I stayed in hockey and I was in rock and roll and I worked in cocktail lounges, not exactly havens for women's to get ahead, but I did because I never minded the fact that it was going to be a little rougher.
Or to have your rights respected.
And then guess
who the law doesn't protect you. You have to set up boundaries.
You do. Even if something's illegal, murder's illegal, well, that stops it. So we don't want to get off seriously politically. Probably have to do a whole other blog on that.
Yeah.
But I'm just telling you, these same ideas they're getting into your system. The idea that there's a way to engineer fairness. There's not. There's a way to engineer peace. Peace is totally a matter of giving up enough freedom. And when you do, creativity stops. This team is a revolution. So if you feel like you don't understand it, that's fine. A lot of people don't understand revolution. But you can learn. You can sit back and you can watch. And you can start to say, that's what my eyes tell me. To me, the big thing with McDavid, I always want to think of the Emperor's New Clothes. I'm the little kid sitting there going, but he's not wearing any hockey skill, and people freak out.
I'm looking over there and you're looking at me, just to let you know.
Well, you know what? We'll look freaking insane. That's fine. Anyway, I wish Mary... I'm sorry, I just really broke the whole show today, didn't I?
What do you mean?
I talked way more.
It's your show. You get to talk more.
It's my party. And yeah. I can't believe I was singing. Bang the drum slowly. Yeah, that's a nightmare of mine, Mitch Marner disease. Because he's such a great guy, It's going to be tragic, I'm always sure, because that's how life works out. Or maybe that's just my Italian upbringing telling me that it's all going to be Pagliacci, So, okay. Read Shakespeare. Watch television. I'm an unusual nerd, but I will be back. I promise.